been used more than any other particle out there. Most anglers have used it somewhere within their angling, and most anglers have caught fish when using it. It's a seed that comes from China. That's it in its dry form, and that's it there cooked up. Kev, why is hemp seed such a good catcher of fish?
Fish just love it. Basically, it's a small particle. I just think the natural oils that are released from hemp seed just attracts fish into the swim. I think when they start feeding on it, I think they love the crunch factor. The outer shell is quite crunchy, the inner soft kernel is nice and soft, which is where they get all the goodness from. And because it's such a small particle, when you put it out into the lake, once they start feeding on it, they just keep grubbing on it for long periods of time.
Because I mean, it is looking wise quite natural, isn't it? Because I mean, you look at that hemp seed there, you've got the little white sprout popping out there, which is the thing they love, but it looks very similar to a little snail.
Yeah, it certainly does. Maybe they do sort of feel as if it is kind of like a snail, but certainly when they get on it, they certainly just keep feeding on it and they love it.
I think it's one of those particles that over the years has, most lakes have seen enormous quantities of hemp. And I think the fish now look at it as a natural item. You know, they expect to find it. Whether they are thinking it's snails or recognising it's something else, I don't know. But the only thing we do know, it does actually work. Now, hemp is a very, very simple thing to make ready. Obviously in its dry form it is dehydrated and we can't use it like that because it just floats away. So a very simple preparation, of which we're going to show you now. Any other particle you do want to cook, on our website the full prep guide is there, or you can give us a ring here at the shop. But let's now have a look how simple this beautiful seed is to cook ready for fishing. Okay, this is stage one of how to cook your hemp seed. Very, very simple. Right, Kev's going to do it because he's done it thousands of times. So first of all, we're going to take a 2 kilo bag of hemp, dry hemp, and just cut off the top. Then all you need is a cooking pan which is big enough to take whatever amount of hemp that you want to cook together with the water. And all we're going to do is put the two together and let them soak for 24 hours. Now, as far as amounts, although we're going to cook 2 kilo up, to make it easier for you, the ratio is 1 measure of hemp. So we've got a straight measure of dry hemp seed there going into the pan. And then all we need water-wise is 2 measures. So whatever size measure you're using, 1 measure of hemp, 2 measures of water. And then we're just going to literally put that straight on top and leave it in the pan for 24 hours. What happens over that period of time, it starts to soften the seed up a little bit, it starts to penetrate in there, and the seed actually starts to rehydrate, which is what we're looking for. So all we're going to do now, we're going to pop off for 24 hours, we're going to go and do a bit of fishing, come back and see what our hemp looks like then. Okay, we're back 24 hours later. Just to mention there, it is long enough, 12 hours to soak hemp for, but just for convenience today, we've done it for 24. So Kev, we've put 1 measure of hemp, we put 2 measures of water with it, we've let it soak overnight, so we've got a bit of that penetration into the seed. What's the next stage?
Well, basically, we need to start cooking it up. First of all, we're going to get the hemp onto the stove.
Okay, I'll do the technical bit then.
And this can be done indoors or outdoors. I'd probably recommend it to do it outdoors if possible, if you want to keep your missus happy. It's not the most terrible of smells, but to an angler it smells lovely.
It is quite distinctive though, isn't it? That oil from the hemp does really sort of penetrate through the house, so probably better off doing it outside or you know, not in the kitchen when she's in. So what we're going to do now, we're going to leave that cooking away, we're going to bring it to boiling point, then we're going to leave it between 20 minutes and half an hour depending on how fast the small shoots come out of the hemp, and we're ready to go. So we're going to pop off again and we'll let you see the hemp cook. Okay, so we're back with you again. We cooked the hemp for 25 minutes, let it bubble away until the majority of the seeds have split and the little white sprouts come out. Let it cool down so that we can touch it, and this is what we end up with: beautifully cooked hemp. Now, the quality that you start with of the hemp is very important. It needs to be fresh, needs to be clean, and then you'll end up with the most wonderful hemp, just like that. So Kev, once we got this cooked up, what do you tend to do? Do you take a whole lot of that, pour it in the bucket and take and use it? Or?
No, my next step is I'll drain half the liquids off.
Okay.
I'll keep that in a separate container. It's basically hemp juice now, so it's got lots of attractants in there, and there's various uses for that. Number one, I can rehydrate my boilies in hemp juice to give them an oily sort of attraction.
Yeah.
Secondly, if I'm mixing up ground baits, I would rather mix up hemp juice with my ground bait than plain water.
Okay, so that everything you're putting in there has got
maximum attraction, basically.
Yeah.
And thirdly, if I'm going to make a sloppy spod mix, I would pour the juice back into my hemp and then mix my dry ingredients. Again, it just leaks off lots of attraction, and all through the water column, and you'll get a nice slick coming off the spod mix.
So it just sort of hangs there, which is what you're looking for. I mean, you can see there from the juice that, you know, once you shake it around, you've got lots of little shoots. So if you were just going to pour that water away and get rid of it, you're losing an awful lot of the hemp that you've actually paid for and cooked up yourself.
Exactly.
So that's it, and that really is how simple hemp seed is to cook. Take the seed in dry form, take 1 part of the seed, 2 parts water into a soaking pan, leave it for 12 to 24 hours to soften up a bit, then take the pan, bring it up to boiling point, let it simmer away for anywhere between sort of 20 minutes, half an hour. As soon as you've got the majority of the little white shoots popping out like that, turn it off, let it cool down, and then you can follow whatever process you want to. Certainly taking that, you know, half that liquid away is a massive edge on a lot of waters now. So what we're going to do now, we're going to show you some extra bits and pieces and some little top tips of how you can individualize the hemp and make it a little bit special just for you.
One of my top tips is to give my hemp a big sugary boost with betolin. I mix it in 2 stages. First of all, I add it into the hemp in the soaking stage, and I put around about sort of 3 to 5 mil per dry kilo of hemp. And then secondly, once I've cooked all the hemp up and let it cool down, I then add another 3 to 5 mil to give it a big sugary boost.
Lovely and sweet. My top tip is rock salt and chilies, and what I do is I take 30 grams per dry kilo of the hemp and put the salt into the soak with it, give it a good stir in so that it actually blends in through there. I then bring it, do my soaking process, get the boiling going, and the last 10 minutes of boiling I add 20 grams of chilies, just flake chilies, on top of the hemp, give it a bit of a stir in, and that just cooks off through. I don't like cooking it for the whole time because I don't want it that harsh. I just want a nice sort of blended taste going through the hemp. And the thing is, the rock salt actually makes it taste better. The betolin makes it taste better. It's no different than adding salt and pepper to your food, is it?
Exactly. It just gives it that extra boost that might just give you that little edge.
And the other thing is if you're going on the chili route or any of those little bits and pieces that you could think of to put in with the hemp, once it's cooked up, you've also got all those little tiny flakes that are coming down and adding to the attraction of your baited area. So there's, to be honest, there's loads of things you can do with hemp. All we've done is covered a couple of our most popular ones. The main thing about it is just making sure you get the right quality hemp to start with. Make sure you soak it over 12 hours minimum so that it's going to rehydrate that seed. Make sure the cooking is until it's split, which is between 20 minutes, half an hour. And then if you want to, play about with some extra bits and pieces just to individualize that hemp, you know, so that it is your type of mix and it's going to be different to the chap fishing next door. So it's one of our big edges, hemp. Let's have a look now at some of the pictures of our testers and what they've had to say about it.